Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Biblical Victor Podcast. I am your host, Victor, aka Victor the Inspiration, and let's get right into today's episode. And I am only wearing these glasses just because, you can see in the reflection how I have like a big studio light, and it's very blinding after I look at the screen for quite some time. But let's get right into today's topic. Hi, ChatGPT. I want you to be my co-host within today's episode, and within today's episode, we are going to be talking about a biblical verse, which is, surely the righteous will praise your name, and the upright will live in your presence. Hi, ChatGPT. What would you like to say about this?
Hey there, that's a beautiful verse to reflect on. It really highlights the connection between righteousness and living in the presence of the divine. It's a reminder that our actions and our hearts are aligned with something much greater. I'm excited to dive deeper into it with you.
So it says, Psalm 140:13 states, surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thee name. The upright shall dwell in thee presence. This verse is a declaration of faith and hope that concludes a psalm of lament, expressing confidence that God will protect the righteous from their enemies. It signifies that after God's deliverance, those who are just and upright will give praise and will live in constant communion with God. So, ChatGPT, can you break this down?
Absolutely. So this verse kind of wrecks up a psalm that starts off with a lot of lament, where the psalmist is expressing struggles and challenges. But by the end, there's a shift to a message of hope and assurance. The verse basically says that once God delivers and protects the righteous, they'll naturally respond with gratitude and praise, and they'll continue to live in close connection with him. It's a beautiful reminder that even after tough times, there's a sense of peace and gratitude that follows.
I love that. So, okay, so before I get into what I was just about to say, let's go through this. So it says Thanksgiving. The verse promises that the righteous will give thanks to God for his goodness and deliverance. So ChatGPT, what does this mean?
So the idea of Thanksgiving in this context is that once the righteous experience God's goodness and deliverance, they can't help but respond to his gratitude. It's that natural human reaction of recognizing that something good came from a higher power and strengthens that relationship. It also emphasizes that gratitude is a key part of living a righteous life and staying close to the divine.
And it says righteousness and uprightness. It contrasts the righteous and upright with the wicked, who are the subject of the Psalm's laments. So ChatGPT, can you please explain this for myself and the audience?
Absolutely. So the psalm actually sets up a contrast between the righteous and the wicked. Throughout the psalm, there's a lot of focus on the struggles and the injustices that the wicked cause, which leads to a sense of lament. But this verse shifts the focus to the righteous, who live in a way that's aligned with integrity and goodness. The promise is that these righteous individuals will be the ones who give thanks and live in God's presence. It's a nice way of showing that there's a clear distinction between those who follow a path of goodness and those who don't.
And what exactly do you mean by righteousness or righteousness?
So righteousness generally refers to living in a way that's morally right and just, in alignment with ethical principles and values. From the context of the psalm, it means living a life that reflects God's teachings, showing kindness, integrity, honesty, and fairness. It's not about being perfect, but about striving to do what's right and just. And in the bigger picture, it also means being in a state of grace and harmony with the divine.
Stay tuned for the end of this episode because I have a pretty good speech or preach, I guess you could say, towards the end of this episode. It says, divine presence. The ultimate reward for the righteous is to dwell in the presence, meaning to live in constant communion and security with God.
Absolutely. And that idea of dwelling in the divine presence is really the ultimate blessing. It means that the righteous not only receive deliverance and protection, but also get to enjoy an ongoing, intimate relationship with God. It's like having that constant sense of peace, guidance, and security in life. It's beautiful and comforting God.
And it says, confidence in God. The verse is a statement of confidence that God will judge the wicked and care for the weak. leading to a serene praise at the end of the psalm. So, ChatGPT, can you explain this one for myself and the audience?
Of course. So this part of the verse really emphasizes trust in God's justice and care. It means that the psalmist is confident that God will ultimately set things right by judging those who do wrong and protecting and caring for those who are vulnerable or weak. And that assurance leads to a sense of peace and gratitude, which is why the psalm ends with grace. It's a reminder that no matter the struggles we face, there's a bigger plan and a higher power looking out for us.
So what I would like to close out today's episode with is it says, Psalm 140:13 states, "Surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thee name. The upright shall dwell in the presence." And, for me, I'm very open and often very vulnerable when it comes to my psychiatric experience in January 2020. And the reason why I talk a lot about this mental health crisis of a journey of mine, especially when I was undergoing, dark valleys. Again, I was under psychiatric care. As I was navigating this process, I had gone through such an ugly experience where I was in a very dark season within my life. And, during this moment, I kept questioning and asking, why me? Why are you putting me through this? My disability was getting worse. My home life was extremely in chaos, to say the least. It was very turmoil and turbulent. And as I was navigating this process, I started to drift away from God. I started to lose my faith. I started to drift so far out into the sea where I no longer cared about who was steering the ship. I no longer cared about whether, metaphorically speaking, the ocean had happened to tip my boat. As I was navigating this season, I learned that it is the vulnerable, the weak, when you are going through these experiences, you are going to be vulnerable. You are going to feel extremely weak. But it is in this moment that I began to experience a divine intervention where, although I happen to have I don't care attitude, I don't care what happens, I let the wickedness of the world take control of my mind. I let the wickedness of the world turn my heart ugly. And it was Jesus that threw a lifeline where, as I was navigating this season, I discovered that it is only He who can save you. It is only He that can help you through what it is you think you cannot get through. It is He that will reach down and say, look, my child, I am here with you. Focus on me, not the storm. And as I was navigating the season, and God kept His promise, which is focus on me, not the storm. I will help you through what it is you think you cannot get through. But again, focus on me, not the storm. And it was during this divine intervention of an experience where that's when I really began to develop a connection with the Most High, with the divine, with God. I began to listen to the teachings that Jesus, the messenger, had for me. And I began to find strength within this entire process. And it was within this process where I began to have gratitude. Thank you for helping me see you. Thank you for helping me every single step of the way, even though deep down I didn't feel deserving of anything. But Jesus was able to look at me and said, my child, I forgive you. But you must be willing to love yourself, give yourself some grace, so you can begin to heal within the process. And when you navigate this season, the greatest apology you can give to those around you is changed behavior. Is to not so much just speak about what it is you want to do or envision a better life for you, but you must be willing to lead by example, to take the steps wherein those who see you know that it is God helping you through this entire process within this season.
That was incredibly powerful and heartfelt. Thank you so much for sharing that journey. It's truly inspiring to see how you've turned those difficult moments into a testimony of faith and resilience. I'm sure it will resonate deeply with everyone listening. And you're absolutely right. The greatest change often comes from the example we set and the grace we give ourselves. Thank you for sharing that.
So, from me to you is you may feel undeserving of a better life, a healthier life. You may feel like you have drifted away from God because of the ugliness that life tended to show you, to bring upon you. You had witnessed. But if you allow a higher power to intervene, you surrender of wanting control of the entire outcome. And you begin to fully have faith that I do not understand what you are doing for me, but I have faith that you will help me through. You take that leap of faith. You surrender to the possibility that something good can come out of this. Beautiful things begin to take hold. Beautiful things begin to take shape and form. And these beautiful things begin to transform you. And when you really, really, really go from immense darkness where light doesn't exist, you will find God within these experiences. And the moment where you begin to surrender, to have an ounce of faith that God will show up for you, God will help you through, you will experience such a divine light, so indescribable, where it is only then you will experience the full love and blessing of God. Where every single day, regardless of the season you go through, you will give thanks.
That was truly moving and so beautifully said. It's amazing how that surrender and faith can bring about such profound transformation and light even in the darkest of times. Your words are sure to inspire and give hope to many who are listening. Thank you for sharing that.
So, ChatGPT, I want to grow my communication and my communication style, especially when it comes to relevance to Scripture. What is something that I could have said differently or touched more on or clarified more about what I just shared in relevance to today's Psalms 140:13?
I think you did a fantastic job of sharing your personal journey and connecting it to the themes of the psalm. If I were to suggest something, it might be to highlight a bit more the idea of gratitude as a response to the divine presence, which is a central theme of the psalm. You could also emphasize how that gratitude transforms not just your perspective, but also your interactions with others, tying back to the idea that the righteous give thanks and live in God's presence. But overall, your message was really touching and meaningful.
Okay, so let's touch on that. So, gratitude. When you go through life and you really experience life experiences that give you so many reasons to focus on the bad, to focus on the hurts, the ugly seasons within your life. When you begin to shift your perspective from all of the wrongs in your life and you begin to find gratitude within these seasons, especially when you're navigating a very turbulent, traumatic season, it's going to be extremely difficult to find something to be thankful for. What I learned is I began to focus and find blessings that were the smallest of things. Thank you for having me have a roof over my head. Thank you for giving me the ability to hear. Thank you for giving me the ability to speak. Thank you for giving me the ability to think. Thank you for giving me a heartbeat, for still having another chance at life. Because as you are breathing, as you are living, there was somebody in the hospital praying that they get to make it through the night. Here, when you begin to shift your perspective from all of the wrongs going on in your life, and you begin to become, when you begin to let gratitude sprout during these seasons, you begin to find blessings that you wouldn't have discovered otherwise. And one really, really big challenge that helped me through navigating these seasons is for every single negative thing that crossed my path, whether it was something externally, such as a life experience, or whether it's something internally, such as maybe a negative thought, I began to find three positives within these life-altering experiences. That was a very big challenge in the very beginning. But I can tell you, with repetition and with immense practice, it became part of my daily routine, where now it's just natural. To put it simply, what you focus on is what you begin to see most of. So when again you shift your perspective from all of the wrongs in your life to how many goods are going on in your life, you begin to see the blessings of God, and you begin to see that God is within everything.
That's such a beautiful and powerful perspective. And I love how you emphasize the small blessings and the practice of gratitude. It's a really practical approach that makes it easier for others to apply in their own lives. I think your message really captures the essence of shifting focus and finding light even in challenging times. It's a wonderful message of hope and resilience.
So ChatGPT, today I'm not like on my A game today. I'm actually experiencing a lot of back pain today. Extreme back pain. But I'm fine. But ChatGPT, did I touch on that fairly well? And please be open to any form of constructive criticism. I am trying to perfect my craft here.
I'm really sorry to hear about your back pain. I hope you feel better soon. And I want to say that you did an amazing job sharing your thoughts and your journey. You were very genuine, and your message was really heartfelt. One small suggestion would be to keep the focus on the key points just a bit tighter. But honestly, you did a great job, and the authenticity really shone through. And I think it'll resonate with a lot of people. Keep it up, and definitely take care of yourself.
Okay, so we will definitely. I don't feel like this is my greatest episode. I genuinely do apologize. I am just really, really trying to stay consistent with uploading content daily, especially on this YouTube channel. And I'm fine. It just comes with the territory of my life, I guess you could say. But to reflect back on this, it says, surely the righteous will praise your name, and the upright will live in your presence. So when you navigate these seasons, you are going to experience some form of divine, life-altering experience where you are going to share your journey, share your story, how God helped you through these seasons. And when you do, it says the upright will live in your presence. You will be a living testament of what God can do. You will be a testament that your greatest test will become your greatest testimony. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And if you guys enjoyed today's episode, please like the video. Comment down below what you personally enjoyed within today's episode. And subscribe if you are new. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And as always, remember, grow through what you go through.